Welcome to PMP Mindset for today. We're moving into People Domain Task 3, Support Team Performance. The question here states a key deliverable is behind schedule due to a bottleneck at a specific technical task. The highly skilled team member is overwhelmed by complexity and dependencies, causing a drop in performance. What is the project manager's best action to support this team member and mitigate the bottleneck? A. Provide additional training and resources tailored to complex dependencies and re-evaluate task scope to potentially subdivide it for easier management. B. Reassign the task to another team member with less workload, even if they have less specialized expertise, to expedite completion. C. Implement a coaching plan focused on time management and prioritization skills for the individual, setting clear daily performance targets. Or is it D. Escalate the issue to the functional manager, requesting immediate reassignment of the team member to a less demanding role to alleviate stress? I'll give you a few seconds. All right, let's begin examining this from option D. Option D says escalate to the functional manager. This is never a good first option. For project managers taking the PMP exam, beware of the escalation clause, especially when you are the project manager or it mentions what is the project manager's best action. Hardly is escalating ever a good thing. The project manager should first process the information and analyze before jumping to any conclusion, even when it comes to escalating. This is a cop-out, so I wouldn't choose it. Option C, implement a coaching plan focused on time management and prioritization skills for the individual. Now, the problem here is not the management of time. The problem here is the complexity and the dependencies. And the best option here is not to immediately send them for some sort of coaching or training, even though that's not bad. But prioritization isn't the issue. It's complexity. And there's a difference between complexity and prioritization. There's a difference between complexity and dependencies. So bearing that in mind, this will not solve the problem, right? A coaching plan is not going to give any immediate relief for this. It's going to draw it out. And as you can see here, it says daily performance targets. And it still wouldn't address the issue, because the issue is they are overwhelmed by complexity and dependencies. So how can you support this team member? Let's take a look at B. Reassign the task to another team member. If you did that, you're not helping the team member in question. In fact, you're putting a band-aid on that person's issue, which is complexity and dependencies. So I wouldn't choose this as an option. Let's take a look at A. Provide additional training and resources tailored to complex dependencies. Sounds about right. Complexity and dependencies. See that? And it says, and re-evaluate the task scope to potentially subdivide it for easier management. If you've taken a look at PMI's principles in PMBOK 7, it talks about dealing with complexity. How? By breaking it down. Complexity, ambiguity, you can tackle those by breaking a big task down into smaller pieces, taking the complexity and spreading it out, as it were, is going to help that individual better process what to do. So option A, reevaluating the task scope to potentially subdivide it for easier management, is the best answer. And that's why the answer is A. When a skilled team member is overwhelmed by task complexity and dependencies, the best support involves directly addressing the root cause, the task itself, providing targeted training and resources, and potentially subdividing the task. This directly enables the team member to overcome the challenge and perform effectively. Other options either shift the problem or provide less direct support for the specific issue. Now, let's talk about supporting team performance, because this is two concepts in one when you really think about it. If you've tackled the PMP exam content outline, which is what our journey is based on, you'll discover that you have various tasks that address bottlenecks or impediments, tasks that address complexity, tasks that address the minimum viable product ideas, and all of these are wrapped up in this question. But the overarching mindset is getting support for team members. You cannot afford to bypass this, because you will receive questions that test your loyalty to supporting team performance. Are you going to defer what is a problem to a later date in the future, or are you going to defer it to someone else, or are you going to tackle it head on? So the mindset in supporting team performance needs to align with the concept of developing the team. In develop team, which is a process in the 49 process PMI talks about, PMI is big about developing team members through either training or coaching, mentoring, building the team, giving them that support that they need. It reminds me of the Agile Manifesto principle that says, build projects around motivated individuals, give them the environment and support they need, and trust them to get the job done. This is very similar. You got to support your team's performance. Sending the work over to someone else is not developing the team. It's not helping that individual in question. And that's why in this one, the best answer was A, where we tackle the issue head on and we get the individual in question training and resources that they need. All right. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, this is a multi-series of tasks that maps back to the PMP exam content outline. Every episode, I'll bring you a question from one of the 35 tasks in the PMP exam content outline. When you think about it, the PMP exam is challenging not because of the content alone. I have many individuals who come out of the exam and say it wasn't difficult in terms of the content, but what was hard was trying to do everything in under 1 minute and 15 seconds. So take a look at this question here. Just the reading of the question. This top piece could easily take you 15 seconds to understand what it's about. Each of these options could easily take you up to 7 to 10 seconds. When you add it all up, the time has gone in just reading the question, which is why there's a difference between reading the question verbally and reading the question without saying a word, which is the ideal exam condition. So in the exam, you will be able to read this a lot quicker than I did, right? Because you're not pronouncing every word. But what is hard is for you to be very decisive. Like as you're going through the options, you need to say, okay, got this, no, got this, no, got this, no, got this. Going through the options and either saying a no or a yes mentally before making up your mind. Because this happens to a lot of people on the PMP exam. They are counted out. They just see that they have no time left. Okay, so if you're reading this at normal speed, without any considerations on the exam, like PMI giving you extra time for medical conditions like ADD, ADHD, and those considerations, the average person could find it hard, and they will feel constantly under the gun because they'll get done with this one and they'll jump into the next question, and they will feel equally overwhelmed with the sheer volume of the question or the way time is just going by. So as you prepare for the exam, I want you to really consider what you're up against. It's not just the content. It's reading the question and understanding it. Because there are many times I've gone through questions and I don't understand it on the first run, and I've got to read it a second time. See, when you do things like that, your time will very quickly run out and you'll be under pressure and you won't be thinking properly. So what you need to do is practice reading with urgency. Take as many mock exams as possible. Practice the art of speed reading. And the more you do it, the better you'll get. I wish you all the very best. Remember, there are other resources you can use on your PMP prep, like pmradio.org, like study.pmradio.org, which is a second podcast, and also pmp.pmradio.org, which has over 30 to 40 hours of videos that I have created for free. It's out there on YouTube. It's a playlist, pmp.pmradio.org. This will help ensure you have all these areas on the exam taken care of, taking them down one by one. Thanks for joining. I'll see you next time.